Sai Ram to all of you. Namaste, dear Sai brothers and sisters. Today we are having Monica Sundaram. I'm sure everybody who is in Chennai South will definitely be knowing her because she has been the Chennai South's education coordinator. And above all, she has been an ardent devotee of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. So on this wonderful occasion of the birth anniversary, 96th birth anniversary of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, we have today Monica Sundaram addressing us on the lovely Leelas that Swami has done for her. It's been wonderful catching up with you, especially since we've not been having much of Sundaram activities as such due to Corona crisis. So Swami has been very grateful to us that we've had this kind of a satsang going, wherein despite all what's happening in the outer world, we still get to connect with Swami in this manner. Don't you think so?
Yes, sure.
So we'd love to hear from you on your journey with Swami. I'm sure everybody is going to get excited because you've been in this fold for a considerable period of time. So the floor is all yours, ma'am. Sai Ram.
Much, Malini, for this opportunity. Of course, I joined this fold quite late, but in spite of that, I have had a lot of Leelas by Swami, which is, I think every day is a challenge for me. Every day is a challenge for me. But somehow he gets me through. So where do I start now? I start from how I joined the organization. Right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. My husband was posted in Bangkok in 1982, 84. We were in Jakarta and Thailand. And when we were in Thailand, in Bangkok, a bhajan was going on next to my apartment. They were Sai devotees. And I attended the bhajan, but I don't know what. Somehow I didn't have, any attraction. Those ladies were singing so beautifully in Thai, but our Swami's bhajans. But I just sat through the bhajan and came off. I never joined any other satsang there. Then after so many years, in 1986 my husband had a massive heart attack and his brain was completely damaged except the stem. So he was in bed for 18 years. So we brought him from Thailand to Chennai, Apollo, and then they said, Madam, why are you keeping here? Because it is just nursing care you have to do. So you take him home. So I brought him home. We were here. That is 86 I came here. 84 I've attended a bhajan, but I was not into it. 86 I was here. And from 86 to 1994 I was here. I'm here only even now. So in 1994 this happened. My husband, used to, because of his brain damage, used to shout a lot. And even the neighbors used to ask, where are you, Ma? Where are you keeping? And no sleep for him and me also. It was terrible actually, from 86 to 94. We were having a terrible time. He was just like a baby because, see, all his cells are damaged. And he couldn't talk, he couldn't tell anything. The physiotherapists will come. They will do their duty, make him sit on the wheelchair and all that. And even if he gets hurt, he won't know. He can't tell. So I have to see, where if I see his blood coming in the legs, I'll go run around. So I had help.
How old were you then, Monica?
That time I was only 49.
Okay.
49 I was. Sorry, not 49, 39. I'm confused.
I was wondering because I thought you must be very young.
I was 39 at that time. Then what happened was, just like a baby I looked up. I don't have children. So actually he was like a child. And he used to, the only word he used to utter is ma, ma, ma. And the person, though he had ayahs and other doctors coming, physiotherapists, somehow he recognized my voice. And now I'll tell you further how in 1994, I was in depression. I mean, I just, it was so difficult for me. I had lost so much weight, you won't believe. So they also took tests for me whether I'm having TB or not. And they said nothing, she's all right. Because every day, going through the same thing, looking after him, getting up in the night 3 or 4 times, because he'll shout because of his, I don't know what, he's not able to tell, he was not able to tell what is wrong, whether his brain was giving him problem or any pain in the body. So when he shouts, I used to come near and pacify him. So that way, only when he hears my voice, he used to, sort of soothe him down. Otherwise, he'll shout. He didn't like the ayahs. Then, one Friday it was, what I did was, height of depression. So I just, my daily routine was, evenings go to this Nagathaman temple which is nearby, just worship and then get back. So walking distance. So this was my daily routine. So on a Friday I went to this temple, Nagathaman, and then next street there's a Ramar temple also, Anjaneya temple. So I thought let me go to that also. It was around dusk, 6 o'clock in the evening. So I just was that corner where you have to turn for this Ramar temple, Anjaneya temple. I just went there. One lady, she was in that Madisar, one Iyengar lady. She came and she said, "Enga pore nee? Anjaneya koilukku poriya? இல்லைன்னா திருவதி அம்மன் கோயிலுக்கு போறியா? அங்கே சாய் பஜன் இன்னைக்கு ஆரம்பிக்கிறா. திருவதி அம்மன் கோயிலில் இன்றைக்கி தான் ஆரம்பிக்கிறா. திஸ் வாஸ் ஏப்ரல். சாய் பஜன் ஆரம்பிக்கிறா இன்னைக்கு வெள்ளிக்கிழமை. அங்கே போறியா?" So I was absolutely flabbergasted. What is this? Suddenly this lady comes and tells me, and she didn't even, I didn't have anything offering for any god or anything. I'm just walking and she says, "Are you going here? Inga poriya, anga poriya?" எனக்கு ரொம்ப இதுவாக போச்சு. ஸோ ஐ செட், see, when you're in depression you can't, nothing, you don't give a ear to anything. So I just, சரி ஏதோ சொல்லிட்டு போகிறாங்க நம்ம, I didn't even reply. So I went to the Ramar Anjaneya temple and got on the steps and just coming, this lady's voice came again and again. எங்கே போகிற நீ? ஆஞ்சநேயர் கோயிலுக்கு போறியா? இல்லைன்னா திருவதி அம்மன் கோயிலுக்கு போறியா? அங்கே சாய் பஜன் ஆரம்பிக்கிறா இன்னைக்கு. ஸோ டெம்பிள் பஜன் ஆரம்பிக்கிறா, நீ எங்கே போறியா? This was going on and I came out of the road and then somehow I asked, there was a rickshaw man. Those days they had those cycle rickshaws, hand rickshaws. So I asked, "Empa, எங்கே இந்த திருவதி அம்மன் கோயில்?" It was in the same street, weird street which I never knew. So he said, "அம்மா, இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் தூரம் நடந்தீங்கன்னா அங்கே தான் இருக்குது திருவதி அம்மன் கோயில், அங்கே போங்க." So I just walked and I went to this temple. And just when I went outside the temple, I stood outside the temple, I saw Baba's photo on a chair, placed on a chair, and the convener of that Samiti, that's what I came to know afterwards, an elderly man, they were singing Paramam Pavitram. Because now I know what is it, that time I never knew what. But that was the thing, they were singing Paramam Pavitram and Vibhuti was distributed. Then this convener, he saw me standing out. Because I don't know all these rules and things like that. So I just stood outside the temple. He said, "Ulla vaangama, ulla vaanga, yen veli nikringa?" Then he gave me that Vibhuti also after. So then he said, this man said, this convener, he said, "Neenga vandu interested irundha, I haven't even heard the bhajan, only Paramam Pavitram." He says, "விபூதியை கொடுத்துட்டு உங்களுக்கு இதில் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருந்தாமா, நாளைக்கு எங்கள் சமிதிக்கு வாங்க, அது பாலாஜி நகர் 2nd Street, number 19. This man said. I didn't hear. The height of depression, you don't even remember all these things. Number 19, Balaji Nagar, 2nd Street, nothing. I just said, okay, he's talking something. I just took this Vibhuti and I came home. And I entered. And the nurse, the lady who was there looking after my husband, the moment I walked in, "Amma, engendhu vandingamma neenga, engendhu varinga?" I said, "Koilukku ponama, angendhu varen." "Pa, udambella silukkudu," she said. When I came in, she said, "Udambella silukkuduma." என்ன 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 பண்ணீங்க, எங்கே பண்ணீங்க? ஒன்றும் இல்லைம்மா, நான் எப்பவும் போல் நாகத்தம்மன் கோயில், ராமர் கோயில் போயிட்டு அப்படியே ஒரு அம்மா சொன்னாங்க திருவதி அம்மன் கோயிலில் பஜன் நடக்குதுன்னு. அங்கே போனேன். ஏதோ கடைசியில் கொடுத்தாங்க விபூதி, அதை வாங்கிட்டு வந்தேன். என்ன இன்றைக்கி ராத்திரி ஐயா தலைமாட்டாண்ட வைக்கலாம் சொல்லிவிட்டு நான் வந்து ஐ பிளேஸ் த when she took that she said again, அந்த விபூதி வாங்கும்போது எனக்கு ஒரு மாதிரி இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு she took it and she kept it பெட்டு அவங்க அவரோட தலகாணி இடையில வச்சாங்க. நானும் கொஞ்சம் எடுத்துக்கிட்டேன், ஏன்னா எனக்கும் தூக்கம் இல்லைல்ல. ஸோ நானும் கொஞ்சம் இந்த விபூதி எடுத்து என்னோட தலகாணி இடையில வச்சுக்கிட்டு படுத்தோம். அன்றைக்கி வெள்ளிக்கிழமை, இது வெள்ளிக்கிழமை தூங்கின உடனே நான் நார்மலி என்கிட்ட 2-3 டைம்ஸ் நடுவில் இவர் கத்துவார் இல்லையா, அன்றைக்கி எப்படி தெரியல, மணி 6 ஆச்சு. நான் எப்பவும் போல் எழுந்திரிச்சு ஐ கேம் அண்ட் திஸ் சிஸ்டர்லிங், அம்மா ஐயா நல்லா தூங்கினார் இன்னைக்கு, நீங்களும் நல்லா தூங்கிட்டீங்க. அப்படியா கத்தலம்மா நடுவில்? இல்லையா, கத்தவே இல்லையே. சரி ஓகே, சம் கோஇன்சிடென்ஸ் சொல்லிவிட்டு, அம்மா நீங்கள் விபூதி வச்சதுலேருந்து தான்மா இதாச்சு. I said, this lady says something. Even then I believe. I said, sometimes coincidence. சரிம்மா ஏதோ மனசில் நிமிஷம் படுத்தோம். சரின்னு போயிட்டு I was doing my work as usual and morning everything went on. Then what he did was, evening 4 o'clock, I have to give him his milk and biscuits. ஸோ அதுதான் அந்த பால் வந்து அந்த இதில் கொடுப்போம், அந்த குழந்தைங்களுக்கு கொடுக்க மாட்டோம், பாலாடையில் அதில் தான். ஸோ அது பெட்டு தூக்கி நான் தான் கொடுப்பேன். ஸோ எனக்கு என்ன தோணுச்சுன்னு தெரியல, நான் கேட்டேன், என்ன தெரியுதா, do you know who I am? Because you never knew who. Do I know who I am? Pat came a reply, no. He just said no. I said, என்னடா அது வாயில ஒரு வார்த்தை வருது, நோன்னாரு. Then second time again I asked, do you know who I am? No, he said. Third time he didn't reply. I asked, he didn't reply. Then I said, my God, at least some words. One word he said. That means that coordination at that time was there, brain. Then 5:45, I don't know what, again the same thing came to me in my ear, telling, number 19, Balaji Nagar 2nd Street, Balaji Nagar Samiti, அங்கே வாங்க 6 to 7 பஜன். That man told me, convener, so I said, போய் தான் பார்க்கலாம். And the curiosity for me. So I went for that. My legs took me where I went. My legs just took me walking. I walked. I told my nurse, நான் இங்கே வெளியில் போயிட்டு வரேம்மா. I didn't tell her where I'm going. Just walked and I found 2nd Street. And then I went and bhajan was going on. All were singing. So I went and sat at the back and just sat. I didn't know any bhajan, so I just sat. Then after everything was over, அந்த கன்வீனர் வந்தார். வந்து, அம்மா நீங்கள் வந்தீங்களா இன்றைக்கான? ஆமாம் சார், இன்றைக்கி வந்தேன். ஸோ நேற்று அந்த விபூதி வச்சேன். அப்புறம் I told him the whole thing about my husband, how his brain was damaged and all that after a massive heart attack, everything I told him. Then he said, நேற்று தாங்க நான் விபூதி வச்சேன், நல்லா தூங்கினார், நானும் நல்லா தூங்கினேன். அதனால் என்னன்னு தெரியல, எனக்கு இதே தான் எனக்கு வருது, என் காதலே தான் கேட்குது. நம்ம இது பாலாஜி நகர் 2nd Street நீங்கள் சொன்னது அந்த முதல் நாள் அப்படி தான் கேட்டுது. அதனால தான் நான் வந்தேன் சார். ரொம்ப நல்லதுமா, உங்களுக்கு பாபா ஃபோட்டோ இருக்கான்னாரு. ஒன்றுமே இல்லைங்க, நாங்களாம் எங்கள் ஃபேமிலி none of us were, devotees, like far relations were devotees, but we were not. We all believed, but not that kind of devotees, so nobody had a photo. So I said, illa sir, I don't have photo illennu. Then he gave me a small photo and he said, நான் இப்போதாம்மா, it was April, கொடைக்கானல் போயிட்டு வந்தேன், சுவாமியை பார்த்துட்டு வந்தேன். அங்கே வந்து என் பிள்ளையோட கல்யாணம், அந்த கல்யாணத்துக்கு இன்விடேஷன் வச்சேன். அதில் வந்து இந்த அக்ஷதை போட்டார் சுவாமி, ப்ளஸ் பண்ணி, நான் எல்லாருக்கும் கொடுத்த மெம்பர்ஸ்க்கு உங்களுக்கு இந்த அக்ஷதை தரேன்தாங்க, இதுவும் நீங்கள் உங்கள் ஹஸ்பண்டோட தலைமாட்டண்ட வைங்கன்னு இந்த அக்ஷதையும் அந்த விபூதியும் கொடுத்தாரெல்லாம். அப்புறம் நான் போனேன், வீட்டுக்கு வந்தேன். my mind was so sort of peaceful. ஒரு மாதிரி ஒரு difference I can see from the depression on Friday evening. The Saturday evening there was no depression, it was much lighter. And I came and again I told my nurse, இது அக்ஷதை இருக்குது, கல்யாணத்துக்கு போட்டாங்களா, அது ஆசீர்வாதம் பண்ணியிருக்காரு சுவாமி சத்ய சாய் பாபாவோட இது, அதையும் இன்றைக்கி வைக்கலாம் தலைமாட்டாங்க. ஸோ அதையும் வச்சோம் சாட்டர்டே. ஸோ அதுவும் வச்சுட்டு அன்றைக்கும் நல்லா தூங்கினார். he slept nicely. So the man who was shouting, all these days, 4-5 times, he never shouted even on that Saturday. that day from Friday onwards, then I forgot to tell you. But Saturday what happened was, this convener, he also told me, he said, அம்மா நீங்கள் எங்கள் சமிதியில் ஜாயின் பண்ணுங்க. சார் நான் எங்கே ஜாயின் பண்ணுறது, நானே ஒரு பேஷண்ட்டை பார்த்துக்கிட்டு இருக்கேன், ரொம்ப கஷ்டம் சார். இல்லைம்மா எப்பப்போ ஃப்ரீயாக இருக்கும், நாளைக்கு நாங்கள் நாகத்தம்மன் கோயில் க்ளீனிங் பண்ணுறோம், அதனால் நீங்கள் வாங்க, காலையில் 6 மணிக்கு வாங்க, க்ளீன் பண்ணலாம், உங்கள் வீட்டுக்கிட்ட தானே இருக்குது, நீங்கள் ஐ கேவ் ஹிம் த அட்ரஸ், ஸோ அதனால் வாங்கன்னார். சரி நான் என்ன பண்ணேன், அச்சோ இவர் என்ன க்ளீனிங்கெல்லாம் நான் பண்ணதே இல்லை அதெல்லாம், ஸோ இது யார், எனக்கு ஒன்றுமே தெரியாது, சும்மா சொல்கிறேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஏதோ நான் அப்படியே தூங்கிட்டேன். 5 o'clock I got up அன்னைக்கு. திஸ் இஸ் சண்டே மார்னிங். சாட்டர்டே சமிதி அட்டன் பண்ணேன். சண்டே மார்னிங் காலையில் 5க்கெல்லாம் எழுந்திரிச்சு குளிச்சுட்டுலாம் நர்ஸ் கிட்டே, அம்மா என்னம்மா காலையில் எங்கே போகிறீங்க, எங்கேயும் இல்லைம்மா, அது இங்கே தான் கோயிலுக்கு போயிட்டு வரேன்ட்டு போயிட்டேன். போனால் அங்கே எல்லாம் தொடப்பம் கொடுத்தாங்க எனக்கு. அதை எடுத்து ஐ ஸ்டார்டட் sweeping the temple and started cleaning the temple, everything. Within half an hour, 1 hour it was over. 7 o'clock I was back. Then the convener came with me. He brought a photo which is not there. It's a very old photo where Swami is eating on a silver plate. அந்த ஃபோட்டோ உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும், சாப்பிட்டுருக்கார். ஸோ அந்த ஃபோட்டோ கொண்டாந்து he said, உங்கள் husband, he came and saw my husband, both two of them, elderly people, they came and saw, they touched him, you know, with vibhuti, everything. It was so nice, I felt so nice. Then he was quiet, he didn't make any noise. Normally he'll make noise, my husband, he didn't make, like a baby, no, he was. So then அது கொடுத்துட்டு அந்த படத்தை மாட்டிட்டு சொன்னார். நான் asked my son, one of the men to hang the picture there, just opposite him, no? So when I lift the bed and all, he can see that picture. It's a very old picture they had. It was not very bright also. Swami is eating on the silver plate on a table. That was, first picture that came was on Saturday, a small photo he gave me. So that I kept under his bed, I mean under his talagani. The second picture came was this eating picture. That's all I had. Then again from that day onwards, he slept very well. Then he said, come to the Samiti, and now that Ishwarama celebrations are going on, you can join, we'll give at Gosha Hospital, we'll be giving paal kudupom, thuni kudupom, neenga join pandringala. So I was completely into it. I don't know that service, because I don't know what made me, I went into that. I just joined, member alone, but I went into it and I started going for all the services. May fulla ஈஸ்வரம்மா சர்வீஸ், த பாட்டு, பஜன், விளக்கு பூஜை எல்லாமே பண்ணிட்டேன், நாராயண் சேவை. ஸோ ஐ டிட் தட். அண்ட் அட் ஹோம் இட் வாஸ் வெரி பீஸ்ஃபுல்.
ஒரு டோட்டல் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர்மேஷன்.
Really transformation. I didn't know. From that Friday, that lady who was in depression, how she changed into there. They are also wondering. Then I put on weight also. Actually they all were telling, now you're looking better ma'am, you're looking better. So எல்லாருக்கும் ஒரு இது வந்துடுது. So I also felt very positive. அதே மாதிரி I joined. That's how I got into this fold. Then at that same Tirupati Amman temple, a convener told, we are starting a Bal Vikas, rural Bal Vikas class. So நீங்க விடுங்க அதை. So
அப்படிதான் நீங்க பால் விகாஸ் குரு.
அப்படிதான் நான் வந்தேன், அப்படிதான் நான் குருவானேன். ஸோ அதை ரூரல் பால் விகாஸ் எடுத்தேன். அப்போதான் அதிலிருந்து அப்படியே டோட்டல் இன்டு இட், எனி சர்வீஸ், எனி bhajan, anything. I became a guru also. I became a sevadal first. In a sevadal akitaanga. Appa the Gomati Amma was there. So that time I was a sevadal. So
which year was this?
This was 94.
94.
I was a sevadal at that time first. Aprom that rule came that if you are a sevadal, you have to go to Puttaparthi to do service. At least one week or 2 weeks. Gomati Amma சொன்னாங்க, அம்மா நீங்க ரொம்ப நல்லா பண்ற, நீ சுந்தரம் Thursday Sunday I will do anything. எவ்வளோ நல்லா பண்ணுறது தெரியுமா, செப்பல் டியூட்டி எப்படி, ஷி வில் லுக், யூ நோ, ஷி இஸ் வெரி, ஷீல் அப்சர்வ் ஸோ நைஸ்லி, ஷீல் பி சிட்டிங் தேர் அட் த எண்ட் ஆஃப் தட் லான் அண்ட் ஷீல் வாட்ச் மீ இந்த செப்பல் டியூட்டி அண்ட் ஐ யூஸ் டு டூ த செப்பல் டியூட்டி. ஷீல் சே ரொம்ப நல்லா பண்ணுறம்மா எல்லாமே, ஆனால் நீ இப்போ ரூல் வந்திருக்க புட்டபர்த்தி சர்வீஸ் போகணும் சேவா. ஆண்டி என்னால் வர முடியாது ஆண்டி. I told her I cannot come because my husband is like this, I can't leave him for 1 week and all. Maximum is 1 day, I cannot leave. And she said, then you have to return your card, Sevadal card. Appa the rule vandhudu. So I returned the Sevadal card, and then Leelama was the guru at that time. She was the one who was. So Leelama said, nee guru aidumma vaama. So during Gomati Amma's, when I was Sevadal itself, I got the training as a guru also at Ithiraj Kalyana Mandapam. So I became a guru, and from that day onwards I am a guru. I took Bal Vikas at home, plus I took the rural Bal Vikas. This is how it went on. And when was it that then finally one day I became the educational coordinator. That, and I did with my husband in bed. Thursdays and Sundays I used to do book seva.
He gives us the
Bookstall.
strength. He
He
gives
gave
us
me
the
the
strength.
strength.
Yes.
And I used to be nicely dressed with lipstick and all. And many of them, when my husband passed away, when they came home, no, we never knew your husband was like this. They said,
Which year did he pass away?
2003.
2003.
So they said, we never knew you're coming so well dressed and you're smiling in the bookstall. You never showed your thing. It is not my thing. Before I was showing my depression at home. That's what I told them. But now it so happened that because of Swami's grace, I'm able to get over it. And I've become, I became so positive outlook in life. So when he died, nobody knew that my husband was in bed for so many years. 18 years he was in bed. He dies
Oh my God!
From
That
86
itself, that itself, I think, is a great seva, because you look at it. 18 years is a
Yeah.
great span of life.
Yeah, when I took him to Apollo, the last 1 week only we took him when he was serious. That time the Dr. Satyamurthy, the cardiologist, he used to come home. When I took him the last 1 week, he was, my brother's also a doctor. So he said, we'll see at home. But then, till then, 18 years, Swami kept him without going to the, that itself is another big miracle, I should say, a great leela of Swami. Then that last week only, that before his death, so my husband said, I think better we admit him now. So we admitted him, and that is in 2003, October. So when we admitted him, that Dr. Satyamurthy called all the nurses and all ayahs, and he said, he turned him this side, that side, he said, "Paranga, oru bed sore kuda illa, 18 varsham bed la irundhukken." Because I used to get up, every time powder is the thing. I never believed the nurses, you can't, you have to do yourself. I don't know how Swami gave me the strength. From 94, I think, 86 to 94 I was down. 94, when I was just going down and depression, he came into my life, Swami. See how he takes, I felt so, I don't know how, a person could just come and take, when you're down, so down, he just came into my life and he just, I don't know how he brought my life back, and so positive and such a beautiful life he gave me. And when I started doing the service and all, I found I'm nothing compared to these people where I'm doing, because this convener took me to all those places where I do service. I found people who are worse. They don't have money. They don't have, at least I have enough money to look after my husband and look after myself. So I must be very thankful. No one complains that I don't have children. No complaints, Swami. I used to pray to Swami. Then one fine day, what happened was one service. That was, in which year I forgot, marriages. That time my husband was there. 75 marriages, when on his 75th birthday, I think. 75 marriages were conducted. So in that...
That was in Sundaram?
That was in Sundaram.
Ah.
So Gomati auntie, or which I forgot, Gomati auntie, she made me a thoripan for one of the girls, all from the rural areas. So I had to go in the previous night. I said 1 or 2 hours I put mehendi and all for them. The next morning they said come early. I went for that seva, and I did that. And at Sundaram this was. So thoripan means you have to stand and do that.
இதெல்லாம் சின்ன சின்ன இதுவா இருந்தாலும் எவ்வளவு great memories ஆ இருக்கு பாருங்க.
Will never go out of my. Then I'll tell you what happened was this marriage thing gave me such a thing, and they all said it's a lovely opportunity. Not many were given from my samiti, that being a thoripan. That time I think Chitra auntie was there, Gomati auntie or Chitra time. So yeah, I think it is Chitra auntie, 94. I don't know who came, not 94. The 75 marriages, I don't know who was this thing, I forgot, I think. No, it was Chitra auntie only. So then what happened was, they said, see, will you come to Puttaparthi? We are taking all the Sevadals who are in this marriage, 75 marriages to Puttaparthi. I've never been to Puttaparthi. So I said, I'm happy here with Swami. I started believing him, I started worshipping him, I started loving him. I don't know, so much. So I became so happy. I said, I think that should do. Why should I leave my husband and come? No, just 1-2 days, man, you come. They all said, come, because you'll be beating, you'll have Pada Namaskar and all that Swami is giving for. I said, I don't know what is Pada Namaskar. I don't know what is what exactly, because unless you're a very, only Guru, I used to take that and be done with it. Sevadal or a Guru do that work. So they said, come. So I took my mother and my sister. They accompanied me to Bangalore. From Bangalore we went to Puttaparthi, and there I said I will stay with my mother. I won't be staying in the shed with you all, please, because my mother and my sister are there. So I stayed in a hotel. But Chitra aunty said, come in the morning. Early morning you have to come up 4:35, I think she said, for the thing, darshan. No, the afternoon itself she said, 1 hour, morning, previous afternoon she said come for darshan. So I went for that also. After that, she said that was over, that darshan. She said next morning you have to be here by 4:30. So I said 4:30, okay. Then anyway I landed at 4:30. And Chitra aunty saw me there, because I was not staying with them, no. She called me, she just pulled me and made me sit in the first row. You know, so this thing. And I didn't know what to do, because I was very nervous. I've never been to Puttaparthi, I don't know what rules and things like that. Then
இப்போ என்னடானா எல்லாமே புட்டுப்பர்த்தியில கரைச்சு குடிச்சிட்டீங்க. There are so many years of seva that you have done. Yes.
So she made me sit, and I also sat. I didn't know what to do. Then one music came. My God, that was real, heaven. Then Swami gliding, this side. I just saw, a form coming like this, and passed me, and it went that side. And just passed, and he went somewhere that side. And after some time, he turned aside, and he came, and he passed my row and all that. He never came to me. He passed my row and all. He took a letter from the third row lady, everything. I didn't take a letter or anything. So he took a letter from those people, all the back. His robe was touching my sari and my body, his robe. So near. He was standing next to me, but never noticed me. Standing next to me and taking letters, blessing people all. I didn't know any rules, no. Some said afterwards, why didn't you take Pada Namaskar? He was so close. I don't know anything. So I just said, no, never mind, it's okay, Swami knows. So I just kept quiet. Then he finished, he went. Again he went to that corner, he looked back. He looked at me. Then he went. Then I had the darshan, morning, this was morning darshan, 6 o'clock darshan, 7, finished. Then Chitra aunty said, this afternoon. She said, again there's a darshan, he's going to give Pada Namaskar, you come. Leave your mother and all, they will go in the ordinary darshan, you come and do it. So I just thought, okay, something new, let me... So they all, two people, they made us sit. First time I'm sitting now for Pada Namaskar. So two, like that we sat. And like that we were sitting, all the ladies. And the darshan time, Swami came and he was giving. I was sitting this side, Swami was coming from this side. So the Pada Namaskar he was giving. And that time somebody told me, take a letter saying that your husband is not well and that he should be all right, write a letter. So in the afternoon I wrote a letter and kept in a cover because they told me. So I held the letter like this. So he was coming like this. So I'm sitting, I didn't know how to give the letter, how to take Pada Namaskar, because he may go up fast. I was in a dilemma. I just sat, I don't know which hand, I was just keeping this, and he came up very close. I didn't know whether to look at him, give the letter, or to take Pada Namaskar, what to do. I don't know anything. So I just kept, Swami came near, he just took the letter from my hand, and my hands padal went on his legs. Such soft, lotus legs. My God, that feeling when I touched his legs, it was really very, 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 I don't know, it gave me so much energy. I touched his legs, and then I took the Pada Namaskar. He took my letter, I didn't give, he just grabbed the letter, and then he went off. He took the letter and he went. And I was just sitting, and next to me a small girl was sitting also. One of the Sevadal's daughter. And then Swami went that side. He finished taking letters, Pada Namaskar to all the Sevadals, and he walked off and he went to the end of corner. From that corner, he had a bowl of chocolates. Those times I think they were giving chocolates. So what he did was he took chocolates from both the hands and threw. And I kept quiet because I don't know anything exactly what darshan or Swami's thing or anything. I never knew anything. So he threw the chocolates, and after some time, this small girl was next to me. She's saying, "Auntie," he walked off. Swami walked up. "Auntie, one chocolate came here. நீங்க பாத்தீங்களா விழுந்தது இங்க தான் இல்லம்மா என்கிட்ட எங்க இருக்குது பாரு கையில என்கிட்ட இல்ல." பாருங்கண்ணா, my sari, the chocolate has fallen into my sari. But I was like this, sitting like this somewhere, pallu or somewhere it was fallen. She said, do arke auntie. She's thrown my chocolate. Oh my God, I was so happy. So I took the chocolate. Then they all said, you give some to your husband. When you go home, you just break it and give it to him, because you can't chew on it. I mean, you can chew, but if it goes into his thing, I said, okay, I'll take that chocolate. I was so happy. Lovely darshan, that was the first darshan. Darshan, sparshan, oh my God, sambhashan, heard everything, like all three together. It was just, and when I returned home,
It must have been too
it
overwhelming.
was too, very overwhelming, I tell you. Throughout in the car, nothing but Swami. To tell you the truth, it's absolute truth. Nothing, I can see only the orange robe everywhere, the car. I as if he's traveling with me back. I felt that, I felt Swami traveling with me. Orange. I was so, it was, I don't know, it's very indescribable actually. You cannot describe that feeling. Then I came home and very happy, and to see my husband okay. Then after some time again one chance of darshan came at Vrindavan. They said, come for the New Year or not New Year, some occasion in Vrindavan, Christmas or New Year. They said, come just for one day, you leave the nurse, and my niece is there in Chennai. So he said, leave your nurse and her. So I left my niece there to look after him. Just one day, 2 days, Bangalore, Whitefield. So I went there. So I went for that. As I'm leaving in the morning, I touched my husband. He's having fever. They said they'll pick me up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I touched. I told this nurse, ma, nalla jwara adigide. She's also telling. Then how can I? Because my mother-in-law was upstairs. What will they think? I'm running around like this. So I said, okay, let's cancel this trip to Whitefield. That's all. ஏதோ புட்டபர்த்தி பார்த்தோம் போகிறோம், Whitefield பார்க்கல nap. So I just pacified myself. I had to do that, being a side devotee. Pacified myself and said, this is my first duty, looking after my husband. Then the nurse said, Amma, போயிட்டு வாங்கம்மா. She said, ஒன்றாவது. She was more confident than me. இது ஜுரம் நான் மாத்திரை கொடுத்துருக்கேன், ஒன்றாவது. இல்லைம்மா, நான் பக்கத்தில் இருக்கணும்னு சொன்னேன். இல்லை, நீங்கள் போங்க. She said, நான் பார்த்துக்கிறேன், ஏதாவது இருந்தால் உங்களுக்கு நான் ஃபோன் பண்ணுறேன். நீங்கள் பெங்களூர் எவ்வளோ தூரம் இங்கேருந்து வழியில் நீங்கள் வந்துருங்க உடனே. She said. So I don't know what, I was so bold. I was such a scared booby. I mean, normally, I became so bold with my husband having fever, and I went off to Whitefield. And this nurse, I rang up the nurse. I said, how is he? Ma jwarame illa ya.
See, he takes care, no? He takes care.
He took care. And you have to be bold also a little bit and take your step forward. He takes care. No fever. I was shocked. I said, Swami. And then I had a good darshan and I came back. Then of course, after all that, my Samiti, I took part in all the activities, everything. And what more to say?
I think you've had the blessing and fortune of having served in this Western canteen for a very long period of time.
Very long.
Yes.
6-7 years they gave me chance of being this thing,
And that's a wonderful work.
Wonderful work. Though it was a bit thing, night you have to see, and sometimes these ladies in the, what do you call that, washing area won't come. You have to run around, do the washing, to help with them. I mean, as a leader, you have to run around a lot. But it was nice. I felt it.
இந்த வயசுல இவ்வளவெல்லாம் பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கும்போது அவரோட ஆசீர்வாதம் இருக்கணும்ல.
எனக்கு ஆக்சுவலி எப்படி சேரை தூக்கி வைக்கிறது, டேபிள் துடைக்கிறது, வீடு ரூம் எல்லாம் எல்லாத்தையும் துடைக்கணும். ஆளுங்க அந்த படகாஸ் யூஸ் டு பி போஸ்டட் ஃபார் தட் திங், வாஷிங் வெசல்ஸ். Suddenly the lady will say, the in charge, the Saroj auntie, the other ladies, so இது வரலையே the badagas இன்னைக்கு, so we'll have to go and do that work. எல்லாமே adjust, run here, run there, get going. Then that lady also, when Sheila auntie was there, she said, Pa, Monica, finally the last day, one round of Western canteen, last day hardly 10 people were there. என்னதான் பண்றது, இங்கேயே இருக்கணும். The main thing, when you went to welcome them, and they'll call for serving also sometime. அங்கேயும் இருக்கணும், அங்கேயும் போகணும். No lady is very tough we found, but Swami got through. I did a fantastic thing. I mean, I was very happy with that.
இந்த இத்தனை ஓட்டத்துலேயும் கண்டிப்பாக நான் சொல்லுவேன் நீங்கள் இளமையாக இருக்கீங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவேன். ஏன்னா இதுக்கும் வந்து சுவாமி தான் காரணம். ஆமாம், கண்டிப்பாக இதுதான். ஏன்னா உங்களை ஒவ்வொரு வாட்டி பார்க்கும்போது அடுத்தவங்களுக்கு உற்சாகமாக காணிக்கிறீங்க அப்படிங்கும்போது அவருடைய அனுகிரகம் இல்லைன்னால் சத்தியமாக நம்மளால் இவ்வளோ தூரம் பண்ண முடியாது அப்படிங்கிறது எல்லாருக்குமே இது தெரிஞ்ச விஷயந்தான். இதில் என்ன எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருக்குன்னா, உங்களுக்கு ஞாபகம் இருக்கான்னு தெரியல மோனிகாம்மா, நம்ம எந்த வருஷம்னு எனக்கு ஞாபகம் இல்லை, இந்த பாட்ரி
2005 or 6
பண்ணினோம் இல்லையா? ஆமாம், அதான் என்னோட ஃபஸ்ட்டு. ஆமாம், அதை தான் வந்து அந்த பால் விகாஸ் சில்ட்ரனோட நீங்கள் வந்து எஜுகேஷன் கோஆர்டினேட்டராக இருக்கும்போது சுவாமி அனுகிரகம் பண்ணி ஒரு 1 week லாங் நம்ம வந்து அந்த பாட்ரி இன்சிடெண்ட்டை கவர் பண்ணோம். அதில் வந்து 3 ஜெனரேஷன்ஸை கவர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். அது வந்து இன்னி வரைக்கும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஹிஸ்ட்ரி. பிகாஸ் இது வரைக்கும் வந்து எந்த இடத்துலையுமே கூட இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சம்பவம் இல்லை. அண்ட் அதுதான் வந்து நம்மளுக்கு பாருங்கள் லாஸ்ட் இவெண்ட். அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து அதெல்லாம் வந்து ஒரு புக் ஸ்டாலு அந்த இதுன்னு எல்லாம் பண்ணி கன்வெர்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. அன்றைக்கி கூட உங்களுக்கு ஞாபகம் இருக்கான்னு தெரியல, நம்ம எல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கும்போது சடனாக களிமண் ஆயிடுத்தே, என்ன பண்ண போகிறோம் அப்படின்னு யோசித்தோம். நீங்கள் சொன்னீங்க சாய் காயத்ரி சொல்ல ஆரம்பிப்போம் அப்படின்னீங்க. நம்ம சாய் காயத்ரி சொல்ல ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது தான் கரெக்டாக சுவாமி வந்து நம்மளுக்கு வந்து அந்த அந்தாக்ஷரியை பண்ண வச்சு, அண்ட் அவுட் ஆஃப் த ப்ளூ ரவிக்குமார் சார் அந்த வார்டன் ஒயிட்ஃபீல்ட் பிருந்தாவன் அன்னைக்கு அவர் தான் வந்து பிரைஸ் டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன் கொடுத்து, அண்ட் கரெக்டாக வந்து பாருங்க எவ்வளோ சில்ட்ரன் இருக்காங்களோ அவ்வளோ சில்ட்ரனுக்கு தான் மொமெண்டோஸ் இருக்கு. ஒன்று எக்ஸ்ட்ரா இல்லை, ஒன்று கம்மி இல்லை. அதெல்லாம் அவருடைய லீலை அப்படிங்கிறத எனக்கு இனி வரைக்கும் அது எவ்வளோ வருஷம் நடந்தாலும் சொல்லிக்கிட்டே இருக்கலாம் சுவாமியை பற்றி. இதுக்கு அளவே கிடையாது. ஆமாம், கண்டிப்பாக. ஸோ இப்போ நம்ம ஒரு பஜனும் பாடிடலாமா? ஒரு சத் சங் மாதிரி இருக்கும். என்ன பஜன் பாடலாம் சொல்லுங்க, உங்களுக்கு என்ன பஜன் பிடிக்கும் ரொம்ப?
நாராயண பஜன் பாட்டா. ஈசேஷ சயனா நாராயணா வேதாபரணா நாராயணா பவபய ஹரணா நாராயணா பாவன சரணா நாராயணா பாவன சரணா நாராயணா ஏசேஷ சயனா நாராயணா வேதாபரணா நாராயணா பவபயஹரணா நாராயணா பாவன சரணா நாராயணா நாராயணா ஹரி நாராயணா நாராயணா சத்ய நாராயணா நாராயணா சாயி நாராயணா நாராயணா சாயி நாராயணா ஏசேஷ சயனா நாராயணா வேதாபரணா நாராயணா. சாய்ராம் சாய்ராம்.
ரியலி வண்டர்ஃபுல். இந்த கரோனா பீரியட்லேயும் வந்து நம்மளுக்கு அனுகிரகம் பண்ணி இந்த மாதிரி வந்து ஒரு ஒருத்தருக்கொத்தர் நம்ம வந்து பகிர்ந்து கொள்ள இந்த பாக்கியம் எல்லாம் வந்து அவருடைய அனுகிரகம் இல்லைன்னா நடக்காது. அது உங்களுக்கும் தெரியும், எனக்கும் தெரியும். அப்படிங்கும்போது எனக்கு என்ன சொல்கிறதுன்னு தெரியல. ரியலி ஹாப்பி. ஸோ உங்களுக்கு வந்து இஃப் மை மெமரி கோஸ் வெல், உங்களுக்கு ஒரு ட்ரீமில் கூட சுவாமி ஏதோ ஒரு இது சொல்லியிருந்தார்ல, அதையும் கொஞ்சம் சொல்லுங்களேன்.
When my husband was alive, that time I had a dream. And it was early in the morning, around 3:34 இருக்கும். என்னாச்சுன்னா இப்போ புட்டபர்த்தியில் இருக்கிற மாதிரி எனக்கு ஒரு இது. அண்ட் புட்டபர்த்தியில் வெளியில் உட்காந்துருக்கேன், இந்த பிரசாந்தி நிலையத்தில் வெளியில் உட்காந்துருக்கேன். அண்ட் அது சாய் குல்வந்த் ஹால், we are sitting out and for darshan. And Swami vararu and he calls me. This is a dream, okay? So he calls me and one lady came and called me and I went in. And I am sitting. There's one Swami closed the door. Swami put the light on. Then he made me sit. Then I sat. Then from there, then Swami went off. When I went, he went off. Then after some time, what happened was somebody came and called me. Swami is with all the rock stars, rock stars of London now. This is a group. So he's giving an interview there to the rock stars, wearing Langan. So I went. I'm going. I went and sat there. And with these rock stars, I don't know who they were, all foreigners. And he was giving an interview. That was over. They all went. Then I'm still sitting there. And Swami also went to leave them off. And I didn't know what to do. So I saw a big table. And adila vande nariya books, lot of books were there. So I just went. I'm alone. Swami is not there. Nobody. These rock stars left. So I just went. Just looked and just looking at the books. Took a book. And I was just seeing. Then again I came and sat down. Then afterwards, again somebody called me. They said, Swami is calling you to another room. So I went. And the windows were different. In my dream, everything was different. And I sat there. And Swami, then afterwards he says, come, he said, he called me. He held my hand. And Swami and myself were walking. And he's asking, Rumba kashtam illa? Just said, Rumba kashtam illa? He said, Ama Swami. I told him, Ama Swami. He said. Then he said, Ama enna pandrathu? He said, that's all. Then he came back. Then I took Pada Namaskar. This is before the real Pada Namaskars which I have taken. I have taken as a Guru also, I have taken many Pada Namaskars. And during Guru Purnima, I used to go after that for every Guru Purnima, I used to get Pada Namaskar. And when that marriage Thoriya இருக்கும்போது Pada, இது வந்து அதுக்கு முன்னாடியே இதாச்சு. When I just joined, அப்போ இது, before all the Pada Namaskars. Then he came, he said, Okkar, he said, he spoke in Tamil. So then உட்கார்ந்த உடனே he said, he showed his feet like that. I took the Pada Namaskar in my dream. That was my first Pada Namaskar. So on the dream எடுக்கும்போது I really felt, the flesh and blood, you can feel it, I got up with a start, I got up with a start and my husband was in bed, the ayah was there, the nurse was there. So I just said, na mani ma enna theriyala. When I looked at the time, it was 4:30. And then then I took the Pada Namaskar, it was so real, as if I'm touching someone. As if I'm touching someone.
And all dreams with Swami are real.
Are real. It is
and
real.
It's in Brahma Muhurta Neram. So what more can you ask for?
That was first one. Only afterwards I went to Puttaparthi.
Yes.
Before going to Puttaparthi, he gave me this. Then I asked my this convener's wife, because they're all from Puttaparthi. So I asked her, what is this this kind of dream came? I described the windows, how they were. And she said, Adida my interview room, she said. I have never been to an interview room, Swami's interview room. அந்த அம்மா சொன்னாங்க, இதான் இன்டர்வியூ ரூம், ஒரு ரூம் இருக்கும், அப்புறம் அதுக்குள்ளே ஒரு ரூமா, ஆமாம் ஒரு டேபிள் இருக்கும், அந்த காலத்தில் இருந்து தான் ஒரு டேபிள், புக்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கும். ஓ நீ இன்டர்வியூ ரூம்மா, நீ போயிருக்க, சுவாமியோட கூப்பிட்டுருக்காரு, இன்டர்வியூக்கே போயிருக்க நீ ரூம்.
கனவுலயே அவர் வந்து உங்களை எல்லா இடத்துக்கும் அழைச்சிட்டு
போயிருக்காரு. யூ ஐ கான்ட் ஜஸ்ட் டிஸ்கிரைப் ஹிஸ் கிரேஸ். அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் ஆல் தி அதர் இன்டர்வியூஸ். And to end with this, I will come to my husband's thing also. In the end, finally, I told you only 1 week he was in bed before going. So that time was very bold and positive. We admitted him, and they said if you want him to live, they'll be giving an injection here and food here, motion here. Then I thought, what nonsense is this? Man going to suffer, so much pain. So what I did, I just wrote a letter. I said, Swami, you do what is, this is, he died on a Saturday, so this I wrote on Thursday. I said, you do what you feel is best. See, I don't want that I want to be a Sumangali, with poo and pottu. Adala paaka venda Swami. Avarukku enna best, he's just, his soul is just captured and kept. On top of that, indha mari injection pottu idu panni live ah vekkanonu. If you feel it is okay, I don't mind. I'll see your reply. I'll just wait for your reply. And I put it. I just kept that letter without doing anything. I was very bold. I just kept that letter in the puja room. And then, this was Thursday. Friday night itself, we were serious. Saturday, he passed away. So, you see, Swami, that reply to that letter, because I said, you do what is best for him. That is what the reply he gave through the thing. That you don't need to put these injections and keep him alive. What for? So, that I didn't feel anything. I felt very, not relieved actually, I should say. See, I think that thing made me more sober, getting into this fold, gave me more positivity and no negativity at all. See, all were wondering, after my husband's death, I was not much crying, though at the first time when he had the attack, I was really broken down. But this time, I felt very normal. I didn't feel much. I acted according to the situation. So that
and you connected with that soul leaving the body.
Yes.
Because that was what maybe Swami wanted you to do, and he made you to write it in the form of a letter.
Yes, correct, you're correct. So I felt so relieved that Swami gave a reply.
Thank you, Monica. This was really very nice, and it gave us insights into how Swami deals with everyone's problems and alleviates us from the suffering that we have gone through. And he's there with each one of us. And every one of us have got our unique experiences. And today I'm grateful to you that with Sai's grace, we've had this session on where you've spelt out so many things which came out from your heart. So I'm happy for you, and I must say you're really blessed to take on this role, not only as an education coordinator, but in every way the Sai activities that you're doing has actually kept me spellbound. From a distance, I've always admired and said, wow, these are all the people who have known Swami from a young age possibly. But then you now disclosed saying that you knew him only after a particular period of time. So, see, all these truths emerge. You see,
right.
Thanks to this interview, I would have thought that you probably knew him from a young age. So, see how he has roped you in from where you were in Jakarta and other places, and so beautifully you've merged with your stories of divine today. So, dear friends, Sai brothers and sisters, now we are having 52 episodes, and many people who have had the privilege of having Bhagwan Satya Sai Baba's grace are now coming forward to give their experiences about Baba. So should you feel inclined to do the same, you're most welcome. The contact number is 996 2826 981. I repeat, 996 2826 981. So until then, stay tuned to our next Thursday's new entrant. Keep guessing who it's going to be. With love from me, Jai Sai Ram.